here we go, and here we are at the back bar. Welcome to my fellow co-hosts, Mr. James, Mr. McLeod. Good
Hello.
evening.
Hello.
Um, First piece of business tonight. I have to inform you that I've made a unanimous vote to rename this the Scott McTominay podcast. So we're just going to roll with that from now on.
See on that, right? Obviously, you done fantastic. I couldn't help noticing that he looks a bit like a 14-year-old needy girl. I don't mean that's not a pure dicky way. Like everyone looks like something, right? But he just every time I look at him, he should be wearing like a Kappa trackie and like having a bottle of Mad Dog and a ponytail. But you know, one of those ponytails that pulls the hair pure really severely back. Anyway, maybe it's just me.
Everyone sees what they want to see.
It was quite a limited talent pool when I was growing up, okay? So go with what you've got. Anyway. Yeah, so not to distract from the fantastic performance. Great.
Yeah, Spain are a bit of a... Yeah, I was watching that wee Aspas guy that came on late on.
He's another wee Ned.
I heard there was a friend of a friend from work who'd put a football coupon on and he'd put Scotland to win, Scott McTominay him to score, Scott McTominay to be Tommy. Why am I calling McTominay?
Jesus, man. Just call him Scott.
We'll call Scott to get to score a goal, him to get booked, and someone else to get booked. I think it was one of the other players. But anyway, Scott got booked in the 94th minute or something for tugging back the goalkeeper.
I mean, give him a wee hug.
Yeah, that's it. So he got booked for that for a tenner coupon. It was about 4K. He got back.
Oh, I was going to say that must have been as soon as you start putting in bets, adding in like players getting booked.
Oh,
the odds absolutely fly through the roof.
I think it's when you get for a player to score a goal and get booked. I think that like quadruples the odds. But
is he looking for like a podcast to invest in?
I think he's looking for some strippers and cocaine to invest in, probably.
One of those guys.
Yeah. I think he's going to have a pretty wild weekend, to be fair. So,
geez, off a tenner bet.
So
yeah,
that's.
I think it was just under. It was like 3-8 something or something.
It was only 3-8.
Shite, absolutely shite.
Chunk change. Fucking chunk change.
It's not bad for a Wednesday night work.
Yeah, it's been a nice little payday.
Yeah.
My highlight was putting washing in the tumble dryer. Like levels to this game, lads.
Watching your teddy bear spin round, like, oh, well, when's my teddy bear coming back?
Oh, I'm a teddy bear, man.
Life must be okay if you're still firing the tumble dryer on.
Yeah.
Between the hours, between working hours, you think I can afford that shit at night? Come on. In fairness, though, that energy thing get extended, so maybe I'll wash my clothes for another couple of months before I turn
a party.
That's it. Get my favourite bras washed. Right? Anyway.
So
just cheaper restocking at Primark every week.
Why break a habit, eh? So what else is getting good?
What else has been happening? Hey, what else has been happening? Absolutely.
I have some news. I have something to say.
Oh, right, okay.
No, I joke. That my wee son Rory does a wee taekwondo class, and one of our friends and friend of the podcast, Mr. Alan Berry, does judo, and he's been saying for ages, "Oh, you should try and get Rue into judo." So I was like, "All right." So I said, "When is it?" And he's like, "Saturday afternoons," and he was like, "But you can join in as well." I was like, "What?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Like everybody just goes in, they kind of split the class." So he says, "Bring Rue along." He says, "It'll be good encouragement." I was like, "That's not a bad idea." He'll be more inclined if he sees that Daddy's there as well. So I was like, "You know what? Fuck it, I'm going to give it a go." So anyway, so we go in and you get your wee pajamas and stuff like that, and you have to go and wrestle a bit. So what Raz failed to tell me is that everyone's a fucking black belt. So I was like, I just thought it was just you do a bit of technique. No, full on fighting with fucking black belts. Got ragdoll about the place for an hour and a half. Yes, 90 fucking minutes of being tossed about. And they were like, "Oh, if you just fall, you just slap your hand down, it stops you getting winded." it does not stop you getting winded. It actually makes it winding more. So,
So now I'm winded and I've got a sore fucking hand.
Honestly, but I just looked around. I was like, yeah, everyone's got these. I was like, is black belt mean the same in this sport as every other sport? And I was like, yeah, no, these guys are full on. I thought, all right, thanks for inviting me along to this casual thing. And then Rory's like, parading about, just practicing sweep kicks and stuff like that. I'm getting like properly flung over shoulders and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got a huge big bruise on my chest. I got my nose burst open as well. I honestly came back, and I couldn't walk. See, on Sunday, I was like fucking the Tin Man. I was just like, oh my God, I can't fucking move. So,
do you know something? I reckon he's been planning this for a long time. He's like, I really want to see him getting his arse kicked. He's set this up. So you basically spent your weekend getting the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there like, oh, sorry, did I not mention that?
I know.
Because he actually won a tournament recently. He was in a competition like a couple of weeks ago and he won the whole fucking thing.
I tell you what, he is a fucking gorilla as well.
Yeah.
So obviously he was like, I'll pair up with you and show you a couple of, Okashomo and Wakashima. And I was like, what are you talking about? So Okashomo is when he fucking throws me over his shoulder, and Ukashima is the one where he flips me backwards and smashes my head off the back of the wall. But
I can imagine you taking that so well as well.
Oh my God. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I says, oh, that was a good move. Thanks very much for that. But then he said, oh no, you get to, wrestle this big fucker. So then I had to throw his big 100 kg ass over my shoulder, almost popped my shoulder lifting him. So proper stitch. I'm definitely going to get him back. So I'm probably hitting with a golf club or something like that. I don't know what I can do to get him down, but oh yeah.
Interesting segue. Our guest tonight also indulges in a bit of judo.
Oh, no way. Oh,
they kick fuck at you too.
Oh, there we go. I didn't actually mean that, to be honest, but I just thought it was actually funny. I'm still like the bruise on my chest. It's like my full pectoral muscle here. There's just a bruise sitting on there. It is agony because they like hold. That's where they grip you and then just punch me.
That's good. So you won't call it pajamas now, will you? Hey Jane, how you doing?
How are you?
How's it going?
Great, thank you. How are you?
All good, all good.
We're pretty good.
We're just hearing a story about Ali getting his ass kicked at judo at the weekend. So brilliant stuff. That's his first time.
I went. A friend of ours does judo, and I don't know what belt he is. He's pretty damn good anyway. But he says, "Oh, come along. I've got a young son." He says, "Get him into the judo stuff." So I was like, "Oh, bring him along." And he says, "Oh, you can join in as well and do it." But he didn't tell me that everybody is a black belt. So all these guys were. I was just like, where's all the beginners and where's all the small people? So it was just like big guys that's like 6'1", 6'2", flinging me about for an hour and a half. So it's good fun.
Nice.
Good times. Right, cool. Over to you again where you can get us kicked off.
Okay. Right, here we go. This evening we are going to welcome she's been in the army, she's played international rugby, she's rowed an ocean. We have the wonderful Jane Leonard with us this evening. How are you, Jane?
Thanks. I'm good. I'm really good. How are you?
We are good. And it's obviously been, what is it, about 12, 14 months since we had our Louis chat with you at Doddy 2022. So have you been since then? You been up to much?
It's been a mad year. Like it's just been crazy. I haven't been on a row machine since though, so that's been all right.
Likewise.
It's just not that fun, is it? So I've put like the physical stuff to the side. I think the last time I spoke, I was going to be doing this like 7 and 7, so 7 Ironmans in 7 days. But I tweaked my back a little bit, and I've just got like a spaghetti back since rugby, and it just like the smallest thing. I just keep doing it. So I was like, right, okay, what else can I do? So I went into a bit of a business kind of down a business road, and now I own 2 businesses and written in my book. And it's like, hey, like an entrepreneur. What the hell is that all about? So yeah, all full of surprises, I guess.
It's a busy year.
What's the businesses? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so because I was getting asked to do like podcasts and public speaking and stuff, and it was not my bag, baby. I hated it, and I was avoiding it like the plague. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And then my last conversation I had with my grandma was just like, Jenny, you need to share your stories, man. You've got some funny stories, and people want to hear them, and you should write a book. And I give her that like face of no, I don't want to. And then she made me promise, and it was the last conversation I had, and I was like, oh, I can't let my grandma down. So so I went online, got some professional speaking coaching help, and then the woman who was my speaking coach, Cheryl Chapman, like we've just gone into business together, and now we've got a business called Strictly Come Speaking, which is a bit mad. So now I help women to get on stage and speak, which is
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I actually think she wrote a review on Amazon for your book, I think. Is that the same? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely paid her to do that. So that's the first one. And then the second one is like I've always been obsessed with peak performance. So how do we get that 1% better? And so we'll come up with the piece by piece peak performance program. I say come up with, I've like put my heart and soul into it and like created this cool business where I now help teenagers with their confidence, with peak performance. So it's been a mad year.
I think if you could develop something for a 40-year-old man that likes drinking wine and just get that 1% extra, I would love that. If you could set that up as your next task, we'll talk to you in 12 months from now. If you could set that up, that would be magic.
Is that so you can drink 1% more wine gradually? Or
I definitely don't. I don't need to drink 1% more wine. Trust me. But yeah, peak performance, drinking wine, sit in the arse and perform better. That's what I'm looking for.
Sounds good.
There's a synergy here.
Yeah.
It's all relative to the person. Like if that's what you want to perform.
So I'd love a 6-pack, but it's just too much hard work. Like I can't do it. Yeah, it's like talk about injuries.
That's a terrible attitude.
I know. It's just that I just like red wine too much. That's the problem. So
maybe
maybe just a diet red wine that I need. So there's a challenge anyway, Jane.
Right. Wait, what are you trying to achieve? You just want to
I don't know either. Actually, just make me better.
a wine-based 6-pack, I think is
a wine. That's it. Like a nice. You see that guy Thor, that Chris Hemsworth. If I could have his body and still drink wine, but that would suit me.
Was this Fat Thor or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? I would take Fat Thor right now, to be honest.
Oh dear. Right, anyway, enough of your wine malarkey. So, tell us more about the book. What's in the book?
So this is the book. So it's called What's Your Number? It is available on Amazon, but Jeff Bezos being Jeff takes most of the money, so not much of the profit we see if you buy it on Amazon. But there's a link in my bio on Instagram. Yep. Which it's so it's set at £15, and all profits go to Motor Neuron Disease Association, because that was the disease my granddad passed away from, and obviously it's really close to our heart, and it's a huge charity that just needs more attention, I think.
Awareness. That's brilliant. The fact that everything goes to that is fantastic. Like in this day and age, everyone's kind of always looking to sort themselves out. So the fact that everything's going to them is fantastic. Yeah, we'll get everything shared for you as well, and all our listeners should probably go and spend 15 quid on this. So,
I'd be so grateful.
So what's the book about? So
it's basically the framework is around the piece by piece program. So I've kind of incorporated, like, my grandma and granddad taught me chess, and I've tried to like use the chess analogy of it being like a little bit like life, and on the front it says a life of control, competition and collaboration, and they're like the 3 C's that like the journey of my kind of 39 years of kind of being around. So I've structured it around that, and then just put like the odd story, and it's not like a warts and all autobiography. I'm not ready to go down that lane yet, but there's a few like inspirational pieces, I guess, in it that it can suit all ages. Little lighthearted. I think the fastest person that's read it is like an hour and 50 You know, I like to just get in, get off, get out. I don't want to spend too much time in somebody's life. So yeah, it's quite a light-hearted read, funny stories. And one of my mates did all the sketches, which is quite cute.
Cool.
I look a little bit chunky on half of them though. But, so volume 2 is definitely going to be a slimmer version of it, hopefully. But yeah, so the title came from the raw. So we had this saying on the boat, which was, "What's your number?" And it's just a really quick, simple strategy, I guess, to check in with somebody. So 10 being fab, I'm fine, I'm loving life, and 1 being leave me alone. I'm not in a good place to talk right now. So we use that scale like quite a lot just to check in with each other quickly, because sometimes when you're just knackered and starving, we didn't want to really talk. So it was just like, what's your number? And if it was above 5, we're all right. But if we were down in the 1s and 2s, it was like, oh, okay, what do you need? So,
that's actually a really good wee method. That's probably something we should see, because like as we get older, like the chat amongst all the guys kind of dissipates. We'll get other stuff going on and stuff. So that's quite a good way to check in on each other. Just what's your number?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. You can use it in anything, like use it with your family or just with the kids, or I don't know, just like your wives or partners, whatever. It's really quick, easy, like I'm a 2.
I reckon that strategy could save me a lot of grief.
Yeah. Do you know, I was literally thinking the exact same thing there. I was like, this is really, really good. Because I think as well, the amount of times when you ask, "Are you okay? What's up with you? Tell me what's wrong." See if you just go, "Right, I'm a 3 right now, so you need to back the fuck up." So yeah, if you can just do that, if you go, I'm actually a 6. I might look grumpy, but I'm cool. So I like this.
I wish I'd known about this 2 nights ago. But no, that's great. That's great. Class. So that's the book. So that's obviously out now. What else is in the book then? So we've got stuff on the scores. What else have you? What you mentioned a couple of stories in there. So is that around the rowing, or is there other stuff involved in that as well?
Yeah. So honestly, like when I've been wanting to write a book since I was like 8 years old. You know, when you're just a kid and you're like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to write a book one day." And then I never really got around to it until I made that promise with my grandma. And then I was like, "Shit, I really got to do it." But my business partner had challenged me to do it in 8 weeks. So I started it on Christmas Day, and then the plan was to have it launched by March the 11th, because we did like a big Strictly Come Speaking event. And you know, I'm just a sucker for a challenge. I couldn't say no, and I was like, 8 weeks, all right, done. So I literally just typed me socks off for like 8 weeks, and I was up at like 2 o'clock just trying to put it all together and structure it and get like some stories that are really like important in there. But like, I read back over it now, there's loads, like, I mean, there's a million spelling mistakes, and there's lots of improvements, but you know what, it's done, it's out there, and
It's a published author now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So have you done like any like kind of like fun book club stuff or anything like that? I know you said you kind of always wanted to do it, but have you ever done like practicing to write a book or anything like that?
Not really. Like I always, like throughout my life, I think maybe you've done the same. You've had an adventure or a story where you're like, "Oh my God, that would be a hilarious story." And I feel like that's just kind of like how my life's kind of unfolded sometimes. And people are like, and I've so many people have said, "Oh, you should write a book. You should write a book." It's like the scale of what I've done and where I've been, and like it is a little bit random. So yeah, it's just been so good to capture it all. So within the book, there's stories of the army and rugby, and I did generally think I would write a lot like amount of it on the road, but when it came to it, I was like, I think that the percentage of the time that I spent on the ocean was like 0.0445% compared to the time I spent 60 days in the ocean, and then I spent 15 years playing rugby and 10 years in the army. So the more stories were about army and rugby, but I never thought I would really be writing about that. But yeah, so it was a bit of a surprise as I was writing as well. I hadn't really planned it as such. My advice would be just to capture stories and then kind of piece it all together.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you mentioned there, so I think if we're talking about that, so you mentioned the army there. So you joined the army, what age were you when you went in?
21.
21. And what kind of prompted it, and what was your role? Tell us a wee bit about what you were doing.
Yeah, so what prompted it was when I was 16, I got my first job working in a paper shop, glam. And in between customers, I was always like kind of bored and trying to like distract myself. So I used to be pulling all the magazines off the shelf, and I pulled this magazine, the Soldier mag, off. And I remember seeing this like 2-page article, and it said like British Army soldier, Olympic gold medal holder, and Army Sportswoman of the Year award. And I was like, oh my God, who is this? Like, I was totally attracted to the titles. And if you have you guessed it already, who it was?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so it was Dame Kelly Holmes.
Oh, damn it. I was going to say that. I was like so stupid.
She.
Oh, man.
I didn't even know she
Trust
was
yourself, Skywalker. Trust
did I?
yourself.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say that. I thought I'm going to look so stupid. All right.
Oh, always trust your gut, man.
I know.
Damn. Yeah, so that was like my initial and honest to God, I was like, I want to join the army just to win that Army Sportswoman of the Year award. Like, I'm so intrinsically motivated by shiny things. I'm such a magpie. So yeah, that was kind of in the back of my mind always. I was 16, then I went to college, then I got sucked into like the rugby college. So I went to Durham Rugby College at Hoffel. I had 2 years, never picked up a rugby ball once before I got into this rugby college. That's just a mad story. And then like fumbled my way into uni, didn't really love it, quit after 2 years, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm joining the army. I want to be Kelly Holmes. So then initially I went to join the RAF, but they weren't recruiting, so I wanted to be PTI, and the RAF allow you to join directly as a physical training instructor, and the army make you get like you have to join a regiment first before then you can apply. So as it happens, the RAF weren't allowing PTIs in at the time. It was like a year wait, and I was like, no, I'm not waiting a year. And the little army man came over and he was like, oh, we have PTIs, you just have to join a regiment first. And I was just so like keen to get out of uni and get out of the Northeast that I was like, yeah, I'm in. So and he happened to be in the Royal Engineers, and he was just like it was like he already knew who I was. He was like, yeah, but it's really physical, there's not many females in it, I'm not sure you're going to be physical. Yeah, no, physically fit enough. And I was just like red rag to a bull. I was like, all right then, I'll be joining the Royal Engineers. So I'm a sucker for my own punishments, really.
That's awesome. So so in the army, so you started playing rugby only after you were 21. Is that when you started playing rugby?
No, 18. So yeah, I was playing hockey like before rugby. I was mad about hockey, and then one of my mates was like, "You're a little bit aggressive on the hockey field," and she happened to be playing rugby, and she was like, "I'm going to this rugby." She didn't actually tell me it was a trial. I'm going to this rugby thing tonight. Do you want to come along? And I was like, oh, a bit of a not snobby, but I was like, oh, like I don't really want to get muddy, and like having to go along. And the England coach at the time, Rob Drinkwater, was there. And I was just like, I thought he was like some dodgy man. I was like, I didn't know anything about hockey. And I just happened to be fit from hockey, picked up a rugby ball. I was running the wrong way. It was absolutely mental. Like, I just happened to be fit and fast. And then I got an invite to go down to Loughborough to like this like England training weekend. And I was like, oh no, I don't really like rugby. But one of my mates was going, and she was like, just jump in the car and we'll go down. Anyway, I'm telling you a really long story. But do you want to hear it?
So on your second day, you were doing England training.
Yeah, yes. After running the wrong way. Like, what level of talent were we talking here, man?
No, yeah. I mean, it was like, what year was it? Like night. Yeah, it was early. It was like, when was it? 2000 and
something.
Yeah, early.
You must have been what, like maybe 4 or 5 at that age? Welcome.
That's
so yeah, I went to this trial, and literally the rest is history. And then got into
your second. So did you get your second rugby training? You were actually started playing for England, or in England?
Second rugby training was a camp, like a training camp for 2 days down in Loughborough. there's an embarrassing story which I put in the book. Do you want to hear it quickly?
Yes.
Don't tell us if it's
Yes.
in the book. That's why people need to read the book.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a thing. So
This could be a teaser for the book.
Okay. Here it is. I can't see the boys up. Just
Yeah.
go for it. I can't see the boys sad. I can't see the boys sad.
Okay, so after like fumbling my way, say it was Saturday and Sunday, I'm sure it was Saturday and Sunday, fumbling my way through Saturday, not really knowing any of the laws, just like relying on pure, just crazy adrenaline. We all went out for dinner on the night time. And at the time, Paula George, like the captain of England, like Shelley Ray, the like legendary number 10, Susie Appleby, like I'd seen a picture of her when I was younger, and I had like I took this picture of Susie Appleby to college with me. I was like, God, this woman's a legend. And then we all went out for dinner, and we had to stand up and say what position we were and what team we played for and how many caps we got. And I was like, oh shit, I'm well gonna get found out here. So everyone was going around the table being like, I'm Paula George, we've got like 15 or probably more, 20 caps for England, I'm fullback. And then it kind of went round. And I happened to be sat next to Rob Clayton, like Saracen 7, England 7 at the time. And she was like, I'm a flanker. And I was like, all right, flanker. Just remember that word, just remember. Because I didn't know any positions. I didn't know anything. So where I stood up and I was like broad Geordie accent with all these Southerners. I was like, hiya, I'm Jane, I'm a flanker. And I just made up this team. I think I said something like Gated Lightning. And like, these are people from like Wasps, Saracen, like all these. And I'm like, Jane, I'm a flanker. And I'm from Gated Lightning, and just sat down and like died. I just died, and everyone was just like, who the hell is this little Egypt? Oh, it was so bad.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That is that's what all these footballers, like that guy that played for Southampton, he just like blagged his way into a team that he'd never played football before to get a game. You just made up team, made up position. Good for you. Have they found out since?
Oh yeah, like everyone, yeah.
Well, it's in the book now, so I think everybody knows.
Yeah. So, but my first ever game was an England academy game versus Holland. That was my first time I played a game. So I was in an England academy shirt. I think I lasted about 20 minutes, and the coach was like, "Get her off! Get her off! She has no idea what to do. Get her off!"
You get the coach of the Lightning on the phone. I don't know. Oh my God. That's unbelievable.
Oh, no.
Unbelievable. And how many caps did you end up with England? 9?
I got 9, but in my defense, I was in the era of like Heather Fisher, Maggie Alfonsi, like we're all like competing for that 7 shirt. And then I was juggling a career in the army, and I had like, yeah, there was lots of things going on at that time. I look back on it and I'm just like, oh my God, it was so mental. And because it wasn't even professional, like it wasn't professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 9 15s, and then I dabbled a bit in England 7. So
was it the army you played for after you left the Lightning? Or
yeah. Yeah, so well, officially my first proper team was London Wasps. So I ended up like nearly 100 games for Wasps. So I was there for 7-8 seasons, and then captained the army rugby team and captained the combined services team, and had like 10 years playing army rugby, which was like in a whole new league of its own.
Yeah, I think so, because I think we've actually spoke to a few people that have been in the army and ended up with a rugby career. Because I think we had it was a Scotland prop, Brian Grant, was in the army and then ended up with Scotland. Rob Wainwright, he was in the army, and so that it does seem to not be a common theme, but it's definitely stories of people being in the army and getting into professional sports.
They're so good. They're so keen on like pushing, especially like now as well as it's growing. Like they're really keen for you to promote yourself and the army and your sport. And yeah, there's a huge push and shift in that now.
Yeah, that's crazy. So just on that, right? So you talked about, you seen the picture, Dame Kelly Holmes. Sorry, did you get that shiny bit at the end?
I did.
Hey.
Crazy. Yeah.
So what's the actual title? What was it? You said, was it sports?
Yeah, Army Sportswoman of the Year award.
Army Sportswoman. I take it that's how you get introduced to everything that you do now.
I wish. No, not really, but you can start it if you want.
And what year was it, just so that I can make sure I'm correct?
Yeah, 2009.
2009.
Remembered that date, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a brilliant act.
That's quite cool. So then, after you've done your rugby and you've done your army and stuff like that, what got you into this extreme challenges? Obviously, rowing. How did that come about?
Well, you can kind of guess the theme of my life here, right? I just like stumble on stuff and then say yes and then figure it out. So, fast forward like 10 years career, and then I worked a little bit in the Middle East, and then that came to an end, and then came back home, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do next. I had a bit of a criteria that I didn't want to work for somebody, so I kind of always wanted to be in charge of my own kind of schedule after that. And then I was at a friend's house, and a friend of a friend was like, oh, there's this team called Girls Who Dare who were rowing across the ocean. And like, again, a rag to a bull. I was like, ooh, girls who what? Like, I had really no idea what it really was going to be all about. But I was keen, I had time, had a little bit of savings, and I was like, I'm going to get in touch with the person who was in charge. So that was Vicky Anstey, who was kind of leading the flag for Girls Who Dare, because there was originally supposed to row it the year previous, but it got cancelled due to COVID.
Yeah.
That bloody word. So she was like waving the flag for Girls Who Dare, and then they were looking for a third member. I got in touch, and I was just like, I am mega keen. I have no idea what ocean. I've never rowed before. I've never even been in a boat in the sea before, but I'm really keen. And I don't know, she was just like, this kid's wild. All right. She's either just going to pull us across or, whatever, give us entertainment. So I was in. And then, so that was like September of 2019. And then we did the start of the race was May 2020. Oh my days. It was mad. And it was all during it was lockdown.
See the fact that you've seen that, and there was this thing called Girls Who Dare, and they're rowing across an ocean, and you're going, oh, that's for me. This is the difference in mindset. I'd have been like that. Nope. Absolutely not. No interest there. I was like, if not, like, yeah, no, that's unbelievable. So is it was San Francisco to Hawaii? Is that the? Yeah.
So it's the distance is 2,400 nautical miles. Starts in San Fran, and then ends in Honolulu in Hawaii, which sounds really amazing, right? I mean, it was just a delicious place.
I don't want to sound stupid, but like, how do you know which way you're going? So like, you can't just like see it, like, that's there, we just keep going that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was pretty much kind of like that. So, you've got a compass on board and a GPS, and then we have a weather router who, like, on board your boat, on your own boat, there's a yellow brick tracker. So on the app, you can see the route that you're going. So he would either be like, all right, you head north or head south, but literally our track was like an Etch-a-Sketch drawing. We were doing donuts, figures of 8. We were heading back to San Francisco. Like, it was horrendous, the start of that race, because the three of us, complete novices, never rowed before. Ola, one of the girls, was absolutely petrified of the dark and can't swim. Vicky, petrified of deep water. And then me, like, this is going to be amazing. We'll be all right. We'll figure it out. Like, the three complete, like totally different characteristics of how we would attack a challenge. Like,
the other two think they signed up for something else.
Yeah. Thought it was a virtual role.
Virtual. No, so for them, like for Vicky, it was like to overcome, that fear of deep water, and she did it for her own personal goals as well as. But the biggest reason we were doing it was for charity, right? So we have 3 charities: Inspiring Girls, which gets girls back into education and gives them more opportunities. Harlequins rugby gets more kids into grassroots rugby, and then Mates in Mind, which is for mental health and male construction. So it's 3 really important charities. And yeah, so the world record at the time was 62 days to beat. So we kind of had like a target in mind.
How close did you get?
All right, yeah. So we did it. We got the world record in 60 days.
60 days.
60 days. It was close. Like we spent 9 of those days.
Especially when doing donuts and going the wrong way.
Oh, totally. Like we were just keeping all the viewers on the seats. Like I genuinely, like at one point, so we started in May, and our predicted time was we weren't even going to get to San Francisco until Christmas. Like we were just like, oh shit, we definitely got more than we could chew. We spent 9 of those days in the cabin, just getting swashed around like a little cork in a kitchen sink. It was so rough, like off the coast of San Francisco when we first started. It was seasickness, it was shit in buckets, all it was just horrible. It's horrible.
That sounds grim.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's just really important that you had the technology, because the way Ali was describing it, you weren't just doing the rowing, you were actually back in fucking time to the 1700s when you were just in a bit of wood, just hoping for the best.
Yeah, I mean,
She learned.
I know. How am I supposed to know? Yes, I haven't got anywhere near the fucking sea.
So you can't see it. So how do you get there?
I know. How do you?
Just leave in San Francisco. Go that way.
Yeah.
I'll just hold my hand straight. We'll just go that way.
We'll just keep rowing. But it's more with the what do you call it, the current stuff, like you can just get flown off course. So you could just be rowing sideways, like say, are we going anywhere? So
yeah, it definitely felt like that. Like, yeah, the average speed we're doing was 0.2 nautical miles for about 3 weeks. Like, literally didn't get anywhere. It was mental.
And still beat the record. Still impressive stuff.
So what are you looking at any other crazy challenges, or are you settling down, putting slippers on?
Yeah, until I get my back a little bit better. I know I hate injuries. Obviously we all hate injuries, but you know, when we play such a extra, I've asked a lot. Like my mind is definitely writing checks my body just cannot handle, and I still think I'm like 21, and I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. So the other day I seen that my mate had done a 100k cycle, right? And I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna have to give that a go. Like I just can't help myself. So I sat on the Peloton the other day and I was just riding. I got about 20k in. I was like, oh, this is shit. Why did I do I did it. And I was just like, I'm such a moron. Like I just can't. I just love it. I do love it. I love like pain and pushing myself. So like last year, I think we spoke about 7. So there's the Iron Cowboy. Do you know about the Iron Cowboy?
My God, it sounds like a movie that I want to watch.
Yeah, he's a guy. He's an actual like real life man, and he's called James Lawrence. Right, check him out. He's a USA guy, and he's just like my absolute man crush. So he did 50 full distance Ironman triathlons in 50 days in 50 states. I don't even know why my hand's gone there. In 50 days. You got it right. Like 50 days, 50 states, 50 consecutive Ironman distances, right? And I was just like, oh my God, who is this guy? Like, wow, like unreal. So when I was reading this book, and it's called Redefine Impossible, and I was like, I need to do this. Like, I wonder how I've done a few full distance Ironmans, and I was like, I wonder how many back-to-back ones I could do without like until I tap out. So I was living in the Emirates at the time, and it's 7 Emirates within the UAE, and I was like, right, I'm going to do 7 and 7. 7's my rugby number. This is all like it's all too good to be. Yeah. So I like tempted fate a little bit, and I messaged him. I thought, oh fuck it, do you know what? I'm like, I'll push my luck all the time. So I messaged him. I said, James, so motivated by 50. Like, I'm just wanting to do 7. will you coach us? And I just never in a million days thought he would write back. And he was like, you're so red. Absolutely, man. Like, total true American spirit. And I was like, yes. So I was on a bit of a training plan with him for several like months. And then COVID happened, everything got locked off, pools were shut, like it was just never going to happen logistically in the UAE. So then when I came back to the UK, I was like, right, I'll do it at some point, but I'm not sure when. In the meantime, obviously the Raw came up, and then obviously in the US, it was all locked down. And James goes, right, I'm going to turn my own challenge up a notch. He then goes on and does 101 of the motherfucking IMs.
Oh.
Jesus.
But see, when you say turn up, I thought you were going to say he done 55, not more than double. Like
101.
100. So he's done 101 consecutive full distance Ironman triathlons. And
So
he did same swims. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
in 101 days, he did 101 full length. That Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And just to remind you the distance, so it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then a marathon to finish. So,
oh my God, man.
I think it's the elite guys are like, they're like 8 and a bit hours to do it. I think so. The average person is between 10 and 14 hours, roughly around about there. So,
I did a whole day.
So it's not even the physical aspect. See the mental strength to just be doing day after day after day. That's insane.
Yeah.
Right, so when you get to like when you've done 20, you're like, oh my God, I've still got another 81 to go.
Great math there.
I had to work that out quickly so I don't look stupid. got my compass question out there, so I'm sure I'll get ripped for again. But anyway, so, oh my God.
You'd want Ali in charge of your navigation with those skills.
Definitely. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not stupid. I'm not going out in the ocean. I fucking hate the ocean. We have to go on the boat to Ireland across the North Sea or something, and I
You see the other side.
I don't care.
You can just point to that one.
I know. I still don't like it. And we went over in I had to get the midnight boat and I actually went out to get some fresh air and ran back inside like a little girl. I was like, no way. It's too dark. And that's a big boat with loads of lights on it. And it's like, it's so dark now. Sorry. Anyway,
before we go off on another wild tangent, we will we'll take the spotlight off you for a moment there, Jane, and we're going to do our heroes and zeros. So basically the concept here is we each pick a hero of the week, we each pick a zero of the week, and you get to pick your favorite hero and your favorite zero. It gets ever so slightly competitive between the other two. But
Gable's not competitive because he always loses. So
basically, and I'm not sure I've got much in the chamber this week either, to be honest. What do you want to hear first, though? Heroes or zeros?
Hero.
Who do you want to start off?
Ali, please.
There we go. Right. Okay. Well, since we're on, Ironmans and challenges and stuff like that, I found this guy. He's called Uncle Chen. So he's a 50-year-old Chinese man that runs marathons. But when he does it, he chain smokes cigarettes. So, and he went viral for just running marathons and just lighting up. I think he ran a marathon in 3 hours and 30 minutes, and he chain smoked 47 cigarettes while he was doing it. So, but apparently he doesn't actually smoke out with running. He only ever smokes because he apparently doesn't like running, and he smokes to distract him from what he's actually doing. So this is my hero. First of all, 50-year-old man running marathons. Second of all, a new tactic of just smoking cigarettes as he goes. So he's my hero just doing it the opposite way. As I said, going against the grain. Instead of eating vegetables, he's smoking cigarettes. So he's my hero.
Wow.
Wow.
That was good.
Anyway.
Minnie?
Hope you're ready. So, my hero is a guy called Baptiste Danachert. right? So I like to go a wee bit out of the ordinary. So he's actually the founder of a company called Sunways, and it's a Swiss company that creates solar panels, but they've built these solar panels that can actually fit and be laid along rail tracks. So as it stands just now, with the amount of rail they've got, with the stuff that they've put down, they're already generating about 4% of their annual energy consumption just using these solar panels. But the cool thing about it is they're dead cheap to make, and they can actually be used on about 70% of the world's rail. So given that energy's through the fucking roof, I thought that's really cool. They're looking into this technology. It's using stuff that's already there. So I thought, cool tech, cool guy, hero. And he doesn't chain smoke. So there we go.
Does he run marathons there?
We'll go with, yeah, he does Ironmans actually. So that's it. What about you, Johnny Red? What have you got?
Mine is more a group than an individual. French people, basically. Their government raises the retirement age, and instead of just sitting down and being like, all right, whatever, they actually properly go for it. They get out there in numbers. They cause a bit of disruption to try and actually influence their government and stop them everybody getting absolutely rinsed in the country. Whereas in Britain, and as much as I'm probably one of these people that doesn't do anything anyway, you get pummeled with things like that, energy prices, inflation, blah, blah. And the British reaction is, that's not great. But anyway, cup of tea, anyone? And so yeah, basically, I feel like we should just be a bit more French sometimes. So tip of the cap to the French people for actually standing up for something.
There you go. So it's down to you now, Jane.
A diverse group we've got for this week.
Bloody hell. Are these, can I ask a few questions?
Yeah.
Cool.
These are all legit stories, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. It's tough, right? I mean, I am attracted to the marathon man, but I hate smoke. It's gross. There's nothing big or clever. I mean, sorry if you smoke, but yeah, I think he's out. Cool guy.
Man.
That's
okay.
How about Uncle Chen?
Baptiste sounds like a really smart guy. I love that he's thinking of saving energy. It's all about, that. Smart.
But
however, the winner is the French people. I'm all for collaboration, community, and doing things on a bigger picture. So yeah.
I'll be honest with you, that was a bit of a Hail Mary throw, that one. I don't think
probably Googled that 20 minutes before you came in.
It's just not you, Chat GPT. Who could I say would be a good hero?
Hashtag be more French.
Yeah.
Got a new hashtag as well. I can join this kilometer.
Oh
yeah. Right, so zeros then. Ali, since you went first, last one. Minnie, you want to roll us off?
So it's a joint effort for the same thing. So it's going to be, I'm trying not to get political, but Rishi Sunak's one of them, and there's a guy called Peter Hebblethwaite is the other one. And this is all around the P&O ferry stuff that happened last year, right? So obviously they sacked hundreds of seafarers in 2022, replaced them all with the foreign agency workers that were paid less money. He already admitted that he broke employment law, didn't give a fuck about it, but he's just been announced that they're to be involved in the new infrastructure projects for all the free ports. So the company that he runs is now been appointed all this shit for all the free ports from the government. So despite all of the damage that he done, that's all right, mate. That was last year. So come on back into the fold. Here's loads of money. On you go. So they pay them and go fuck themselves. So they're my zeros for the week. There we go.
It said with passion there as well. So
yeah.
So my zero is an Australian company called Bow. What they've done is they've made a mammoth meatball. So what this is a recreation of the woolly mammoth. And what they've used is stem cells to grow meat. So now they say that their company is to stop the slaughter of animals, where you can now use like cells to create meat by migrating it with other animals. So first of all, it sounds absolutely gross. Now they said that in the news article was that no one's actually tried the meatball yet. But so their whole thing is that they make meat from nothing from sales. So first of all, it's gross. Second of all, this is just going to create a new wave of people like there's vegans and all these kind of people. Now you're just going to get stem cell people that are just going to eat this meat now. So, and that's going to annoy me more than anything. People who just want to be part of it. That's all they eat. So for that reason, they're in the bad books.
Oh dear. Right here.
Yeah,
Mine's a little less serious, but there was was it Monday or Tuesday night, the Celtic versus Rangers women's football match.
oh, yeah.
And at the end of the game, the Celtic equalised in the 99th minute or something ridiculous like that. And as the Celtic coach was shaking hands with players, the game was finished. The footage shows the Rangers coach coming up behind them, and then he just walked right up behind him and just headbutts him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And then he obviously gets people getting in the way, shoving him away. And you just watch it being like, there's just absolutely, like, women's football is just starting to get a bit of a profile.
Yeah.
And then some muppet like that is reacting. I mean, there's no excuse for what he did.
Yeah.
And to do it
Back of the
live
head
on
as well.
television, etc., back of the head's also a complete coward move.
Exactly. I think as well that the Celtic manager wasn't even doing anything. He was just going along the line,
Yeah.
shaking hands.
Shaking hands,
with all the players. Yeah, he wasn't even like over celebrating anything. He was just going along, shaking everyone's hands. So
Yeah, it was just a complete. And I hope he gets the book thrown at him for that. And then he'll probably regret not having hit him harder.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
he's my hero for this week.
See,
Down to you again, Jane.
yes, guys, we've went on different directions. That's nice.
Mm.
Good.
Nice. Cool. Okay, 3 very powerful preachers. I liked your passion, Minnie. Really good. You were up there.
That's a nice way of saying unlucky, mate. Like, right,
Yeah,
okay.
you were touching cloth, but head banging coward has got to win. Fuck, what a tosser! Like, no need.
2 for 2, Gemmell.
Clean sweep.
It's been a while. I've not done this before.
I'm retiring from Heroes and Zeros after this week.
Yeah. They haven't found out who it was. They know who it was.
Yeah, the assistant manager.
Is it? Yeah.
Name and shame. Craig Thompson's his name.
Is it Craig Thompson? I was thinking Craig something. But
Craig
it was captured live on TV as it happened. So
yeah.
And the funniest thing was they actually interviewed the Celtic manager or head coach, whatever he's called, after the game, and they asked him about it, and he just started laughing. He was like, "No idea what was going on." He's like, "He called me a little rat." I just laughed it off.
Scumbag, man.
But yeah, it's an absolute scumbag move doing that. And,
yeah,
awesome. 2 from 2. Right.
2 from 2.
You boys need to practice for next time. But now, time to spin spotlight back onto you, Jane, and it is our world famous speed round. 10 quick fire questions, nothing serious. So, someone want to count me in?
Oh, God. I get a bit anxious and stuff like this. Okay, let's
It's
go.
a competition. You need to get 10 out of 10. So
yeah, there we go.
Wind me up and watch me go. Let's go.
Let's do it. Right, 3, 2, 1, get going.
Favorite superhero?
Superman.
Spider-Bat.
Come on.
A perfect holiday destination.
Florida.
A boat or plane?
Plane.
Would you rather score the winning try or make the try-saving winning tackle?
Try-saving winning tackle.
Pick 3 celebrities, dead or alive, to make up your perfect 4-person rowing team.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh shit. I would have a singer in there, so Pink. She's going to come join us. Then I want a comedian. So maybe James Corden. Find him pretty funny. Or Ricky Gervais. Actually, he could come. Yeah, Ricky Gervais. Singer and entertainer. And
you need some muscle in there.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be doing much work.
Chef.
I would have Fat Thor.
Yes, I'm in.
Yes, Ali.
Congratulations on the 60 row challenge, Ali. Good luck.
It's right up your street.
I could be stupid enough to do it, to be fair, but anyway.
Favorite drink?
Non-alcoholic or alcoholic?
Either.
Oh, I do like a red wine with a bit of Coca-Cola in the top.
What?
Oh.
I know.
Oh,
Try.
no.
I can tell you where Ali's going after this.
Coca-Cola and red wine. I've never heard of that in my life.
It's a proper drink. I think it is anyway. In Spain.
Maybe in the northeast. We're in the north. So.
Right. Night in or night out?
Night in.
Most famous person in your phone contacts?
Probably Gabby Logan, maybe.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good one.
Right, okay.
What was your last fancy dress outfit?
Last weekend, I tried a dress. We did a tango dance, but I looked more like Aladdin.
Inadvertent Aladdin, nice.
And lastly, who'd play you in a movie of your life?
Oh wow! Oh God. That's a good question. Who would play me? I don't know. I mean, it would be a mad movie, wouldn't it? Do you know what's coming to mind? Do you know the kid off Billy Elliot?
What?
that boy who was playing Billy Elliot.
Can't even think of the name.
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell. Yeah.
Jamie Bell.
It's not Cammy.
Jamie Bell. Sorry, Jamie
Jamie
Bell.
Cammy Bell not playing goals for Kilmarnock or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Sorry, yeah.
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell.
There we go. That'll do.
Well done. 10 out of 10.
There we go. Speed round done.
Magic. There we go.
Well,
that was enlightening.
That was it.
It was Gateshead enlightening.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is us wrapping up now, I think. Unless any of the boys had any final fact. I forget one question.
Last question, like final question.
Oh God. Make it nice.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with it there.
Oh, if you want.
This is very professional.
Yeah, so we'll edit this bit. So we've got a Spotify playlist that all our guests nominate a song that could be something they enjoy listening to if we're going out, something that gets them pumped up. So is there a song that you'd like us to shove on for you? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah, you've been doing it. I'm pressing it. It would have to be Pink, Trustful at the moment. She's a legend.
Okay. Cool, we'll get it done.
Cool. Lovely stuff. Well, this has been a very enjoyable chat.
Yeah.
And we'll be putting up the links, get people buying that book.
Yep.
And good luck for whatever adventures. I'm pretty sure, even though there's maybe nothing specific yet, there will be something soon.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching with interest to see what pops up on Instagram, see what crazy adventure comes next.
Yeah, we can be doing like a diet version of it.
So, we're very good cheerleaders. Like I'm definitely pom-poms and stuff like that. I can do all that. So yeah.
And if you do something really cool, then Gem will get a tattoo of it on his leg. That's fine.
Looking around for the other Gemel.
Yes,
thanks so much, Jane. It's been
thanks. Been
Absolute pleasure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Have a good
Thanks.
evening.
Thanks,
Take
Jane.
care. Thanks, Jane.
Cheers, Jane. Thank
See you
you.
later. See you later.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
There we go.
She's one cool lady.
She's nuts, man.
Yeah,
Good nuts, but nuts.
Yeah. It's like
it's like we've done some stupid things in our time. Things where we go, you shouldn't have done that, or that was a bit crazy. That is just like maybe an hour of stupidity. That's
Aye.
her.
it's not spending 2 months at sea, stupid, is it?
Yeah. But
Yeah. I'll be honest, when she said that, you guys have probably thought about writing a book about some of this shit you've got up to, I was like, there's absolutely no chance that's ever happening.
Yeah, that's enough. We want to go to jail.
Yeah, no, money, just no thanks.
That's one for when you're on your deathbed.
Aye.
I think I love the
stories to
journey,
tell.
Yeah, I love the journey though. Is it the fact that it's just
yeah.
Head first, think about it later. Especially like as I said, like a rugby thing, getting into like England's rugby setup on our second day, and just winging it. So I love that mentality,
And then never rode before, but then just rode from San Francisco to Hawaii.
And did she say that it was in the September and she did it in the March? So what's that, like six months? 6 months.
That's good about the book. Yeah, like everyone's listening, get into it. Good cause, and it sounds as though it's actually a really interesting read as well. So
what's your number? Is that the name of it, isn't it?
Yeah, what's your number? Jane Leonard. Don't buy it on Amazon. We'll have the link in our bio, so just jump on there and buy it so more money goes to good causes.
Yeah, M&D. So sounds good.
Well, that's made me feel as though I want to.
I know.
Go to bed.
I'm stretching my hammy here, so I don't know what I'm thinking of doing.
I know. Honestly, she's tired me out just listening to all that nonsense.
I think we do need to challenge ourselves. I think that is, of all the people that we spoke to, is like obviously the process of doing it is grueling and awful. But I think the aftermath is awesome, where you can tell the story of what you've done, and that just no one can ever take that away from you. Is like do that challenge, and then that's you done for life. So. Yeah. I think we need to think of something that we push ourselves.
Well, listen, I know what I'm going to do. I'm doing it this year, and we're going to do the average man competition. We're going to do our 5K jog. We're going to do a couple of laps of the pool, do a couple of wheelies, we'll play a game of roll, have a nice steak at the end of it.
that sounds like a holiday. That sounds like what we do.
The thing is, see, when I finish that, I'm going to still feel fucking brilliant at it. So I'm cool with it.
Still be
when are we doing it?
I'm open. Well, I need to get into training for it first, guys.
Don't want to pull a hammy on the second lap of the pool.
You mean just run for like fucking 25 minutes, half an hour? Like, who am I kidding? 40 minutes, right? So, like, that's a lot of training. In fairness, actually, I'm starting with that personal trainer on Monday. So,
we PT.
Yeah, we're getting down to 14% body fat's the goal, guys. So, yeah, there'll be more room for you guys in this wee screen when I'm not. So yeah, that's it. And now I've said it, I have to commit, and I can't just pull out. So there we go.
Good luck.
It's time to work.
Yeah,
so,
I'm past that stage of goals like that.
2 weeks, shoulder will go. That'll be me. Like fucking, would you call him a dodgeball at the end, just eating chicken legs and all that? That'll be it.
Well, good luck to you,
White Goodman.
Wait, that's it. There's my challenge. White Goodman.
There we go. Right, well,
there's our guys.
Time to wrap it up, and we will be back with another sparkling guest soon.
Cheers for
joining.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.
Take care. Later.